The Sydney Siege, murder in Malaysia, U.S. Marine charged with murder. For Tuesday, December 16, 2014, this is the Asia Brief. It began sometime before 8 a.m. Monday morning when a perpetrator took hostages at the Lindt Chocolate Cafe located in Sydney's Martin Place. At 8:47 a.m. local time, a picture was posted to Twitter of two hostages holding up a black flag with Arabic text. Witnesses in the area heard loud bangs that sounded like gunshots. Patrick Byrne, a producer at Channel 7 whose newsroom is opposite the cafe, said, quote, "We raced to the window and saw the shocking and chilling sight of people putting their hands up against the panes of the glass of the cafe." End quote. Shortly thereafter, the U.S. Consulate General Sydney warned American citizens to avoid the area and was then evacuated. Several financial institutions locked down their offices as well for safety. Throughout the day, speculation flew across news feeds. How many hostages were there? How many gunmen? And was this the work of ISIS? Zain Ali, the head of the Islamic Studies Research Unit at the University of Auckland, New Zealand, told the Associated Press, "The flag was difficult to read, and what was shown was incomplete. He felt the word shown was Shahada, or Declaration of Faith. It's one of the 5 pillars of Islam. Its wording and stylization has been used by militant groups around the world like Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State." By the afternoon, 2 hostages had fled the cafe, but exactly under what circumstances weren't known at the time. The hostages did speak to reporters and told them that the gunmen in the cafe wanted to speak with Prime Minister Tony Abbott and for an Islamic State flag to be delivered to the cafe. One of the hostages that later escaped was barista Ellie Chen, whose sister Nicole said on Facebook, "Yes, I finally see you. I'm so glad you're safe." As evening fell, it was revealed the person responsible for the situation had contacted various media outlets and spoken with police. It was also revealed that the 5 who did flee the cafe did so by escaping and were not let go. News 7 reported that there were 15 hostages, but that number did not come from authorities. A Lindt executive said that there were about 10 staff members on hand, and there may have been up to 30 customers at that time in the morning. New South Wales Police Commissioner Andrew Siponi indicated a huge security operation was underway. Quote, "We are at this time continuing to secure and make sure that we are doing all that we can to bring this to a peaceful outcome. We want this matter resolved peacefully, and we will do all that we need to ensure that." End quote. Australian Muslim groups denounced the actions of the siege, saying, quote, "We reject any attempt to take the innocent life of any human being or to instill fear and terror into their hearts." End quote. After talks failed to de-escalate the situation, police moved in to secure the prisoners. A firefight ensued, which ultimately claimed the lives not only of the lone gunmen, but 2 hostages. At a press conference after the operation, Sipone said, quote, "It was the act of an individual. This should never destroy or change the way of our life." End quote. The man has been named by Australian media as Manharan Monas, and no motive for the hostage crisis has been identified. A 44-year-old mother of 3 is recovering in a Kuala Lumpur hospital after her husband chopped off her hands and feet with a meat cleaver before hanging himself. Reportedly, the woman is now in stable condition and has been moved to general care after being in the ICU. The woman had been working in Singapore for 15 years and only returned to Kuala Lumpur once a month to see her family. Her husband, who was unemployed, thought she was having an affair and accused her of such on each return visit. Police said jealousy was a key factor in the attack. A U.S. Marine has been charged with the brutal murder of a transgendered woman in the Philippines. Private First Class Scott Pemberton is accused of killing Jeffrey Loud, who was also known as Jennifer, this past October. Quote, "We will not accept anything less than justice," said the victim's sister, Mary Lou Loud. The Marine Corps had been working closely and cooperating fully with the Philippine National Police to ensure a thorough investigation is completed and due process of law was followed. Loud was initially held on a U.S. ship, but after anti-American protests, was remanded to Philippine detention centers but still remained in U.S. custody. You can find complete information on all of these stories in the show notes, and if you enjoyed today's podcast, please share it with your friends. You can subscribe to this and other podcasts on our website. Just click the subscribe tab or those big iTunes and Stitcher buttons. Subscribing is free, and when you do, the next episode is delivered automatically to you. Thank you very much for listening today. For the Asia Brief, I'm Steve Miller. The Asia Brief is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 International License.